Hello everybody, welcome to the Serfs. I am Lance, one half of the Serfs, and welcome to part 3 in our series tutorial on the perverted arts. Basically, for a long time, we wanted to give the gifts, the memes of production, as they call it, to the people. We want to give as many people the ability to make as much noise and success and growth on YouTube for the leftist community exclusively, so that they can push back against the right-wingers, against the hardcore right-wing domination of the platform. Part of our efforts to de-radicalize the youth, shall we say. And one of the things we wanted to do is give everybody some handy advice on how to beat the algorithms of YouTube. But then, once you know it, that little scamp, ThoughtSlime, went along and made an incredibly well-produced, concise, hilarious video, as he is known to do, on how to do just that. And it is obviously a work of absolute art, one of which I'm very proud of him for. And there's not a lot more to add to his particular video. However, we do want to add some information that perhaps he didn't want to get into much, which is kind of the nitty-gritty and the more technical stuff, such as SEO implementation, as well as a host of other things. So, today, in this tutorial for the perverted arts, for leftists exclusively, I'm going to explain to you guys a little bit about how to get your videos noticed, how to grow organically on YouTube, and how to become the most famous leftists you can be. Now, when you're starting out on YouTube, unfortunately, the sad reality of everything is going to be... hello everybody joining. Hi, Mark Schmill, Shell Gale, and Charles Wolf. When you're starting out on YouTube, it's going to be very, very tricky, unfortunately, because the most important thing for you to do is to get eyes on your work. You're not even going to be in the algorithms of YouTube for the first, 4 or 5 months, unless you're getting consistent views. And until your views start hitting the, 700 to 800s, maybe thousands, you're probably not going to get picked up by the algorithm. What's most important for you guys, especially all you lefties in the chat right now who are popping up, to get noticed on YouTube is to start spreading it. Now, if YouTube isn't going to notice you, other places will. The number one place I would recommend to start posting your stuff is the Reddit. Now, this is going to sound a little bit difficult, but let me just say this. RedTube is one place to post it. There's 1,000 other subreddits, okay? Especially for the kind of content you might be producing. Hassan Piker has a Reddit. Destiny has a Reddit. Capitalism vs. Socialism. Chapo Trap House has a Reddit. Complete Anarchy. Dank Left. Enough IDW spam. Enough Peterson spam. Fuck the alt-right. Even R Funny. Or Late Stage Capitalism, R Meme, Secular Talk, Socialism Space, The Bakery, The Right Can't Meme. All these are great places for you to post your videos. So if you guys have new videos on YouTube, post them in all these different places. Twitch is still happening. We're starting our Twitch show in about 30 minutes. This is just part of an ongoing series I want to start, because we're not going to be allowed to stream on YouTube for very long. As soon as we make Twitch partner, they will stop allowing us to stream on the platform altogether. So I want to make these tutorials to help you guys become uber famous, become as famous as lefties can be on YouTube. So yes, and our BeerTube works as well. So anyways, when your video first is released, do what you can. Release it on every single Reddit and thread you can. You'll get a lot of hate. People will say you're spamming. Try not to spam aggressively, but just anyways, put your video out there anywhere you can. Facebook forums or Facebook groups. 2 great places. Discords. Most Discords have share your workplaces. Our Discord does, and we encourage you to come share it. We encourage you to post your stuff on our Reddit thread as well. But anyways, post it anywhere you can. Get your friends and families to watch it. What you were trying to do is, before you get sucked into the algorithms of YouTube, you want to get as many eyes and views on your content as possible, and hopefully people watching your stuff for as long as possible. So post it everywhere. Post it anywhere you can. Sometimes even post it in comments of other videos, but that might get you deleted. Anyways, once you've been posting your stuff for the first couple months, you'll probably start to notice that you might get a few subscribers, and you'll have some reoccurring people. Some people might want to see your stuff on a more regular basis. BreadTube just implemented a really cool thing in theirs, which is going to help support smaller creators by basically upping them in the algorithm. So every single time someone who has under 500, or maybe it's 10k subs, yeah, it's 10k, which is pretty high. But anyways, anytime there's a post from someone who has less than 10k, it's going to help them by bump them up in the BreadTube results a lot better than, say, if it's us or much more famous people like Sean or 3 Arrows or anything like that. So, stage 1, getting as many people as possible to look at your stuff. That's the first thing. So share it around, share it on your family, your friends, post it in every Reddit thread, post it in every Facebook group, post it in every square corner of the internet until you start getting eyes on your work. That's the first stage. The second stage is, once you're actually in the algorithm, that's when a lot of those things you may have heard of, like SEO optimization, actually matter. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that really quickly right now by uploading a garbage video, just a random one, sure. We'll just do this, doesn't matter. So anyone who's familiar with YouTube is familiar with this little interface. This is the upload area. What we're going to do is, first, the title of your video is very, very important, okay? The title of your video is basically the second thing that a person is going to decide whether or not to click through. Click-through rate, it's also known as CRT, is very important with YouTube's algorithm. So what's most important is that you have a flashy title. Now here's some extra hints that they probably won't tell you outside of this perverted school college that we're into right now. Clickbait, yes, Nathan Gonzalez, but to a certain degree, yes and no. So what clickbait would be designed as is something like this. Who farted? The answer will shock and disturb you. That's clickbait, all right? And frankly, clickbait doesn't work as well as it used to, so I would try to avoid things that are just straight like that. You should at least be giving people a little bit of information about what's going to happen. So if your video is still about someone who farted, say, the story of the mysterious fart. So that's the first part. Your title's in there, and it's an interesting title, one that would make someone probably want to click on this, right? Next, add a bracket. The reason why, and I don't know why, apparently studies show that human beings are something like 6 to 8% more likely to click on something when they've read something in a bracket. The answer will surprise. That's a little clickbaity, but still, we're okay. Then you might want to add your name. In this case, we are the Serfs. And if you want to be extra, algorithmy about this, does Sargon fart? You might want to add something like the year, right? So 2020. This also apparently helps up, but I think it makes titles look ugly. But anyways, this is a pretty optimized title, okay? The story of the mysterious fart, the answer will surprise, and our name as well as a year. I would take this out personally, but anyways, that's it. In your description, the first 2 lines of the description are the most important ones, right? So we did a deep dive into a deep crevice. I can spell very well right now. To discover who exactly was behind the smell that ruined 92. Done. So your first line should only be about this much in length, because this is all anyone is going to see in the search results, okay? So this is all that matters, is this one first line. Everything additional to this can be spammy stuff or information stuff. So you do a couple things. You'd say, click below here, and then you can make some kind of an arrow. And then this is where you put in www.weareserfs.com, www.patreon.com/theserfs. I'm also not adding, I'm being bad here, you should always add HTTP, because that way it hyperlinks it automatically for you in the results. So now these two are going to be hyperlinked, which is good. And you just fill this up with all your numerous information. Also fill it up with anything you want to help people with. If you fill up other people's sites, like, if you add Thought Slime's page, HTTP, I'm going to totally guess this off the top of my head, but I'm going to guess this is right, but youtube.com/ThoughtSlime. By doing that, I'm not only helping out Thought Slime, because I referenced him earlier, but I'm also helping this slightly by like 0.001% in the algorithms, because it also makes all these connections between all these different sites. So you fill this up with all your kind of like spammy information, and then you add a few hashtags. You can only add 3. Now, hashtags aren't do or die. Can you remember the last time you actually looked up a video on a hashtag? Like, does it matter? I don't think it does whatsoever. Happy birthday. Thought Slime is amazing. And it's not my birthday, but oh, happy Friday. Sorry, I read that wrong. Thank you very much. Just when you're about to film. Good. I'll give you more tips on how to get high into that algorithm. So, add 3 hashtags and only 3 hashtags. They're not do or die, but in this one, it would be fart, one generic one. That one, maybe mysterious. And the third one is a little clickbaity, like shocking. So I've got 3 hashtags. Those hashtags will appear at the top of my thing. I've got my one line, which is important because your top line is only going to be 1. This is what they read in the results. Then I've got all my links and spam popped in. Now I get to keywords. Now keywords used to be this thing that you should actually fill up with as many keywords as possible. That was back before 2018, I believe, is when the algorithm changed. Now keywords are a little bit more generic. So in this one, my keywords, because the title of it is the story of the mysterious fart, it would be fart, Sargon of Akkad, mystery. So right now these are very incredibly generic keywords. You will not get to the top of any search results for these 3 keywords. You never will. It's impossible. So I'm going to add some highly specified ones, which are going to have 5 or more basically words in it. So now it's going to be Mysterious Sargon Fart Solve. I will probably be the top result for that, even though I'm a brand new channel. This is a new channel I created for this tutorial called Butterhorse. So even though I'm a brand new channel, I probably get pretty high in the search results because no one else is going to have those 5 words together, right? Carl of Swindon. So Carl of Swindon, Prenay. And then that search is also probably going to be very highly specified. So add 5 or 6 highly specified ones and then a whole bunch of very generic ones. They help cross-pollinate each other. Do not fill in every single possible potential keyword. You used to have to do that. That is actually a bad thing now. It waters down the amount that you will appear in search results. So don't do that. Only do maybe like 5 or 6 lines. So I have room for maybe I'd say 10 more. And then after those 10 keywords, you're pretty much set. Then comes the video thumbnail. Now, thumbnail and title are the 2 most important things. The reason being for that, I'm sure any of you guys have used YouTube before, and when you do use YouTube, let's go to the main YouTube page, what do you click on? If I'm looking through these random, by the way, this is a new account, so that's why all these things are super shut. Super shit, I'll say that. If I'm looking at all these thumbnails here, your eyes will go and click on the ones, obviously, that are a combination of what appeals to you, but also if they have a certain degree of professionality to them, right? So right now, this Patriot Act one, it's really well done, and I'll tell you why. It has this nice blue font at the bottom. It's got a nice top font. It's very legible. Always look at your thumbnails at like 25 to even 15% to see what they'll look like really small, because this is what they're going to look like for people. So people look for the thumbnails that catch their eyes and have quick words on them. This one, The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. Absolute garbage, both Jimmy Fallon and probably what this clip is going to be, but I'm immediately drawn to it. It has the words Jack Black in large. It's very legible, the logo. Jack Black is doing something funny. This is a good thumbnail. This will probably get a click-through. Click-throughs are very important, but the 2 most important things when it comes to you and the algorithm and how to beat the algorithm is A, your click-throughs. So that's a combination of having a captivating title as well as a thumbnail. So if your thumbnail is not working, be sure to switch your thumbnail out. You can do that on YouTube. You can switch it out as many times as you want. So you have a captivating thumbnail. It could have the words Lambda on it, as Cena S is pointing out. You have a captivating thumbnail, and when people click on your thumbnail, is that person going to watch your video for long? That's the second most important thing. That's how YouTube's algorithm determines whether or not to keep bumping your video up and to keep suggesting it to other people. Do you have a high click-through rate? And once they click through, do they stay? That second part is entirely based on your content. So you can have the best thumbnail in the world, the greatest title in the world, but if your video is boring and people click away from it in a matter of seconds, then you will plummet in the algorithms of YouTube. If they stay hooked to it, then you will be skyrocketing in the algorithms of YouTube. So that's why in your videos, the first 10 to 15 seconds are the most important of the entire video. And it's so sad. It's sad that we have to make content that is clickbaity. Content is like that. But if you were trying to bread pill people, as I'm sure every leftist who's watching this right now or who's watching this later is trying to do, then I'm sure you want to get as many eyes on your work as possible to get that message as far as possible. So very important. Once they click through, the first 10 seconds, make it something very exciting and maybe a summary of what they're about to see. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm so happy you're here. I've got something really exciting to talk to you about. I'm going to explain to you in the next 5 minutes why capitalism is destroying your lives. That's pretty interesting. I would say, I'm okay. Sure, even if I don't agree with you, or I think you're some kind of anarchist nutjob, I'm probably still going to stay. I'm going to watch for the next couple minutes because I want to hear what this person has to say. So first couple minutes, come right out of the gates, make it exciting, then have a nice title so it seems a little bit more professional, then get to talking. And the other thing that I'll recommend, and this goes to a lot of YouTubers and new breadtubers, is don't just have talking heads. Don't do just you talking to a camera for 12 minutes about theory. No one is going to stay and listen to you. Even if you're as beautiful as Hassan Piker, they're not going to stare at you for 12 minutes if you're just talking to them about theory because they won't know who you are. Once they know who you are, sure, do as many videos of in that genre as you want. But when you're starting out, make your videos exciting to strangers, brand new people. That's when you're in the algorithms. That's what the new eyes are going to be. So if you're talking to the camera and that's all you're going to do, splice in public domain footage, splice in public domain pictures. Pixabay.com, unlimited free public domain video footage and pictures right there. Pixabay.com. Go there. Get fun and exciting. Like, we're visual creatures. We don't just want to listen to a human being talk for 10 minutes who we don't know. We want to listen to a human being talk for 10 minutes who A, interests us, and B, keeps us visually stimulated. So once your video is a little bit more pop in that way, add some music as well, that goes a long way. And do fun things. I've noticed a lot of, like, YouTubers today, Yeah, pixabay.org or .com. But anyways, search Pixabay up on Google. You'll find it. But anyways, a lot of new YouTubers I find are doing new things. They're doing fun new things, right? Like if you notice, the rugged Midwesterner, Ron, he does this cute little thing that he invented where he'll like say something, then he'll snap. Then the graphics come on the screen the second he snaps, as if he's magically conjuring the graphics. It's so easy to do that, but he came up with that, and that little thing adds a little bit of spice to his videos, which makes them more interesting and which pulls more people in. It helps them out in the algorithm. So you've done all these things, you're growing, you're starting to realize that your videos are being seen by more and more people. This is all beautiful, this is all good, this is what we wanted. It's at this point that you have to become part of the crew that chases the algorithm. Because once you're in the algorithm, every single video you release is going to be less or more successful based on these things that I've just taught you today. The click-through rate. How many people click on your video just by looking at the thumbnail? If no one clicks on it, you're not going anywhere. Once they click on it, how long do they stay? Do they stay for a very long time? Because if so, you've got the magic combination. And to find that combination, you might have to keep trying different things, trying different genres, trying different topics. It takes a lot of trial and error. It doesn't necessarily mean that just because you don't climb high into the rankings, that doesn't necessarily mean that you aren't doing well. Okay, that doesn't necessarily mean that your video isn't great. You could have one of the best videos you've ever made in your life, and it doesn't climb, and you get really depressed. This is part of the crunch and the YouTube, weird cycle of emotional distraught that it causes to every person who creates content on it. But that's not necessarily the case. What it means is that you are not getting enough click-throughs on your thumbnail and your title, and they're not watching it for long enough when they click through. So the people it is going to aren't interested in the content. That's how you do it. Ron is the best. I totally agree. Hello to everybody watching. Hello to everyone joining. If you missed the start of this, basically, we've been wanting to make more and more tutorials on how you, as lefties, we want to give you guys the means of production so that you can become the greatest, most powerful leftist YouTubers. We want to stop this country club of YouTubers where there's only like 5 or 6 famous ones and 10,000 people, reaching for the crumbs. So take all these like little tutorials and all this advice. A lot of it sucks because you're having to do things that sound super anti socialist or communist or anarcho-communist, whatever you are, because you're acting in a corporate way. I mean, doing SEO optimization, doing thumbnail optimization, doing clickbait titles, all of these are pretty gross to anyone who's probably a far leftist, but they're necessary for you to get this message across. This is how people like Tim Pool are destroying it, despite the fact that it's Tim Pool, despite the fact that it's a man controlled by a beanie, he's still destroying it in the algorithm, and he's doing that for a simple reason. His titles are addictive to anyone who's thinking about these kind of inflammatory things. He uses a red and white font because those colors actually contrast, and the human eye is more interested in this dichotomy of colors when they see it. And then once you click on it, he talks a lot of inflammatory gibberish that for you and me, you might click away because you're like, this is horrible. But for people hungry and thirsty for that content, it's like crack cocaine for them. All of a sudden, they're like, wow, this is amazing. I never knew that someone could talk this long while wearing a beanie. I am recruiting you. I'm recruiting every single one of you to be the best breadtubers you can be and to rise and conquer the algorithms of YouTube, because I want each and every one of you to do so. I want the left to take over YouTube. I want the left to take over Twitch. I want the left to take over every other thing. Speaking of which, for the left taking over Twitter, here is how the left takes over Twitter. Anyone who's been wondering, how do I grow on Twitter? I'm just a Twitter account. All I do is tweet out. The secret to Twitter is a little bit similar to the secret on YouTube. When you're growing on Twitter, what is really important is that you do so with a team of friends, a pack of friends, all right? We'll call you guys a wolf pack, for example. You and the rest of your friends have to work together so that every single time you guys make posts, you like and retweet each other's posts. The reason being is that if you're just an empty account and you're firing tweets off into the endless void, you're never going to get picked up by anyone, especially people who are looking at hashtags. So when you're sending tweets out for the first year of your Twitter career, start doing it with friends. Start doing it with other friends who like and share your stuff. Start doing it with like-minded people. Once you've grown till the point that you have maybe 500 followers, start using hashtags and start using trends. So when you want to do a tweet in the morning about how capitalism is destroying society, use hashtag Monday Motivation and add that. And since you have a few friends and a few people that retweet it, you might get bumped up in the Twitter algorithms. That's what helps you out. Once you've grown to a Twitter size of about a couple thousand, you now have Twitter power. You have enough power that the Twitter algorithm is going to start reusing your tweets. So what you can start doing then is going on the attack. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that you should do this. Some people, it's just not in their blood, but some people like myself love going after far-right reactionaries. Now, I'm not saying in any way you should actually physically attack them or cause them harm. Never do that. That's terrible. Do not do that. This is not what this is about. This is about winning in the high marketplace of ideas, man, because it is a marketplace of ideas. And what you're going to want to do is say Tim Pool makes a tweet that you hate. retweet and put on a funny comment on it. If, you know, the golden one, well, he's not on Twitter anymore. If Richard Spencer, why is Richard Spencer on Twitter, by the way? If Richard Spencer makes a horrible tweet, some really terrible tweet, and you want to rip him a new one, just hit retweet him, and the algorithm will bump you up higher, because all of a sudden it's going to connect people who they know already despise Richard Spencer with you and your fan bases. So all of a sudden you'll find you're getting these new likes and follows out of nowhere. This is the secret. This is why so many Twitter people you see are constantly replying to other opposing forces on the platform. Now, this is actually two reasons. One, some people use it for growth, or like me, you probably get so frustrated when you see Tim Pool tweet that you can't resist and you just have to reply. That's fine too, just as long as you're using it in the correct way. That's how the left can also take over the Twitter platform. Also, be safe, okay? There's no reason on Twitter why you should be trying to say, hey everybody, gang up on this person, or say, hey everybody, dox this person, or say, hey, all those things are wrong. Do not do that. Play by the TOS rules, so they have no reason, because they're always looking for reasons to ban leftists, okay? They ban leftists for parody, they ban leftists for comedy, play within the rules, and then as long as you're doing that and you're growing, the rest of the leftist Twitter can become huge and flourishing and beautiful, like everyone I know wants to be. So, these are just a few rules in our series on the perverted arts. Let me know in the comments what other things you want us to teach you. I know a lot of people have been asking how to learn editing. I haven't fully learned how to use the public domain editing, the open source editing software, which I believe would be a lot more beneficial than me teaching you how to use Adobe Premiere, although Adobe Premiere is free in its entirety for a full month. So if you want me to do an Adobe Premiere tutorial on how we make our videos, I will do that next. But if you want me to learn how to use Blender, it'll take me a long time because we just don't have free time anymore with everything we're trying to do. How do you do Instagram? Instagram SEO is a little bit different, and we don't have an Instagram presence, but I can tell you Instagram is really huge on hashtags. So what you need to do if you're an Instagram poster is you start out with a catchy line, you have a funny Instagram post, and then you do ... Then you add close to 30 to 40 hashtags. You have to add a handful of hashtags that are generic hashtags, so just words like love, happiness, joy, and then you add a bunch of specific ones that are only going to be to your topic. So socialism is for figs or something like that. And then once you have those 30, you'll notice you'll get a whole bunch more likes on that particular post. And then slowly, as you get more likes and anything, you'll start to snowball. Like any other thing in the world of YouTube, in the world of Twitter, in the world of social medias, in all of these things, there is an element of fake until you make it. So that's why I said, if you have a group of friends, it's a lot easier to do this as a collective than it is to do it on your own. So if you have 10 friends who all want to do this together, start a group on Twitter and start liking and following and retweeting each other's tweets and retweet each other's and join other groups. We could have factions. There could be one faction of leftists and one faction of socialists, and one faction of the leftists all like the socialist tweets and vice versa. And all of a sudden, all these tweets are going to get bumped up higher and higher in the algorithm, and you're going to find more and more people following and liking you. That goes for YouTube, that goes for Twitter, that goes for everything. One last point I want to say on YouTube, because this is something that no one really does, and this is not going to apply on my new Butterhorse account, but YouTube has multiple features that they unlock as you become bigger and bigger. For us, we've unlocked a lot of them. One of the features is you get to do community posts. Use those. The community posts are very, very important, and not enough YouTubers use it. Anytime you put a poll on your community post, you put a funny photo on your community post, or you do a funny line, or you share someone else's video in your community posts, you will notice you get more subscribers, even though you didn't upload a video. That's because the algorithms of YouTube show community posts in people's channels who aren't subscribed to you. So it's really important every leftist starts using the community post feature of YouTube. Use that all the time. I don't know why hardly anyone does. And those who do, you'll find grow faster for that very reason. Eventually, you'll unlock the other feature called Stories. Stories is a very Insta Stories ripoff that YouTube does. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't take advantage of it. Post a story every now and then. I know, like for me personally, I hate Insta Life. I'm really not into that stuff. To me, it just seems very narcissistic. But I do it for YouTube because I know it helps us with the algorithm. So when I do a YouTube story, community post, in that same day where I haven't posted a video, I will see a noticeable bump in the amount of subscribers we get. So use those two features. You probably unlock one of them or the two of them around the 1,000 to 5,000 subscriber mark, okay? So these are all tools that the left can be using and should be using on a regular basis on these platforms. And again, like I said to all my friends, let us know in the bottom as to how or what tutorials you want us to be making. We're about to make Twitch partners. Once we make Twitch partners, we won't be able to stream as the Serfs on YouTube anymore. I'm not insanely sad about that because I've hated YouTube streaming for the fact that YouTube demonetizes and takes down videos that we stream about the LGBTQIA community, and that's disgusting. And just the fact that I said that is probably going to demonetize this video. I don't care, whatever. So we're going to be streaming mostly on Twitch full time, but I think we're allowed to stream on YouTube if we stream as some entirely new personas, and we've been crafting kind of these weird personas that we want to use for Tim Pool's new multimedia company and Jordan Peterson's new social media company. So maybe we'll release some new personas very soon. What's public domain editing software? Blender is very complicated and hard to use, but Blender is an insanely advanced 3D animation software program that you can actually make Pixar movies with, but it also does 2D editing as well. That's the one that most people are recommending to me. You can use Adobe Premiere 100% free for a month. That's another thing that I'm recommending to people, as well as I think someone else said there's another one that's pretty good for free. I know, Omar, and I love it too, except I don't love the way YouTube treats the LGBTQIA community. So as long as they're going to do that, I'm going to protest YouTube, and I'm going to keep streaming on Twitch, which Twitch is not a perfect company. They are also owned by Jeff Bezos, the human testicle. But at the end of the day, Twitch at least is completely in support of the LGBTQIA community. They're not just giving them lip service. They actually do bump up and help the algorithms for people who are in that category. It actually has its own category on the platform, and it does quite well for that. Anyways, that's the end of today's tutorial. Please, everybody, come join me over on Twitch right now, twitch.tv/theserfstv, because we're going to do our regular show. We got a ton of fun stuff we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about, is Joe Biden a racist? The answer will surprise you. We're going to talk about Destiny debating everybody on the left and losing to various degrees. We're going to talk about butter horses. We're going to talk about all these wonderful things. So come on down to twitch.tv/theserfstv, because we're going to start our live show right now. Yes, the link is twitch.tv/theserfstv.